Live look at Munich, where Vice President Kamala Harris is about to address the Munich National Security Conference following the news of the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, and he has reportedly died in prison.
Yeah, we're going to. Okay, we're ready to talk to her. Okay. Yeah, let's bring in national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin over in Munich. Jennifer, his death hits home for you.
Well, Brian, as you know, I lived in Moscow for 3 years, and I've been following the Putin kleptocracy and autocracy for the past 25 years. I think what's notable about Navalny's death today is the timing of the announcement. It's coming as the global leaders are meeting in Munich at a security conference to figure out how to deter Russia's President Vladimir Putin, how to deal with an expansionist Russia. This is a message that is being sent to those leaders. It's a mafia-style message from Putin, from the Kremlin. It's no coincidence that President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine was on stage speaking shortly after this announcement came. I think it's also notable that Navalny's longtime chief of staff put out that if this is true, then it's not Navalny died. It should not be reported that Navalny died. It's Putin killed Navalny, and only that from his longtime chief of staff. Navalny's wife, Yulia, is in Munich as we speak. She was there last night having dinner with the former U.S. ambassador to Moscow, Mike McFaul. I've had dinner in the past with his daughter, who is a very, very brave young woman. She's a senior at Stanford University. Dasha is just a paragon of strength like her father. But I think what's also notable is there was a video yesterday of Navalny in court, which I think we have, and it shows that he did not look ill. Now, he's been in solitary confinement and disappeared and was sent to the prison 40 miles north of the Arctic Circle, and he disappeared for 3 weeks in December, which had his family extremely concerned. But that video yesterday of him in court, he was laughing and joking with the judge, even mocking the judge. And then today we get news that he's collapsed in the prison and died. What's also notable, Brian, is that the timing of the Kremlin announcement, the Kremlin put out a statement literally 2 minutes after Navalny's stated time of death in that statement from the prison system. If that doesn't give you all the clues you know that the Kremlin knew this was coming or had a heads up, I don't know what does.
Yeah, correct. So, Jennifer, Dana Perina made a good point. She said they could say he died today, and he might have died a different time. They're releasing it because of the big report yesterday that Russia was trying to send nukes to space, or maybe because of the Munich conference that we're watching right now. We saw John Kerry wave to the crowd. We're waiting on Kamala Harris to be seated and to speak. But the timing of this, what do you make of that?
Well, I think, Ainsley, again, we saw video of Navalny speaking in court. It was a video link. He was very much alive, very much not looking weak yesterday.
So you don't question the date of that. You know that happened yesterday. So,
well, anything in Russia, it's hard to know because this is a autocratic, iron-fisted, freedoms and truth are something that are lacking in Russia right now. So I can't say for certain, but I do know that this is the timing of this is designed to send fear through NATO allies, to send a message to those who are trying to stand up and defend President Zelensky in Ukraine. It's coming at a very crucial time in terms of a debate in Congress about sending more military aid to Ukraine so that they do not lose this war to Russia and empower Putin further. Brian Fitzpatrick, the congressman from Pennsylvania, has put together a bipartisan compromise piece of legislation today that is tough on the border and also strips out any of the humanitarian aid to Ukraine and simply focuses on military aid to Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine. That is a piece of legislation that should get serious attention today before the House of Representatives leaves for 2 weeks. This is a very crucial time, Brian. As you know, that is why these allies are meeting in Munich. And the timing of the announcement of Navalny's death was a mafia-style message from Putin to those NATO allies, to his opponents domestically in Russia. It's also, he's sending a signal that his main opponent, the main conscience inside, one of the last dissidents in Moscow, is announced dead. ahead of him running for re-election in Moscow, and also giving interviews, trying to manipulate the West into thinking that they can compromise on Ukraine.
Yeah. Jennifer, we were going to cover that too. Brian Fitzpatrick, along with some others, have put together something in the House because on the pure aid bill, politically, it was going to not even be brought up in the House. But now Brian Fitzpatrick does address get tougher on the border, and we'll be able to see more of that. But it's really important Ukraine gets some aid. This was just sent to me too, just to understand how courageous this guy was. When asked, why did you come back after you were being poisoned? He said, by coming back to Russia, I fulfilled my promise to the voters. There must be those in Russia who don't lie to them after all.
Let's not forget, Brian, how much a threat he was to Vladimir Putin. When he was poisoned by those KGB agents, when he was Alexei Navalny had been fighting for a decade, pointing out the corruption of Putin. He was sending drones up over Putin's mansions and embarrassing the Kremlin leader by showing how he was stealing money from the Russian people.
Yeah.
That is one message that the Russian people certainly respond to. So in August 2020, KGB tried to put Novichok, a chemical agent, in his underwear. He was on the verge of death when the pilot landed in Siberia. His family fought for him. His wife fought for him to be evacuated to Germany. He was treated, survived that. It's incomprehensible that he survived that. And then in February 2021, he decides to return to Moscow. His family's with him. He's arrested as soon as he lands. He knows he's going to be arrested. He is literally
Jennifer,
one of the most brave people I've ever
So sorry
encountered.
to step on you, Jennifer. We appreciate your coverage. Right now, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, just took the stage in Munich. We'll listen in.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.